Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. In today's video I'm going to be installing some BMR engine mounts onto the Mustang. There might be a couple times in the video where I mention the sway bars, but unfortunately the sway bar video is not going to be uploaded. Reason being, I didn't record any of the front sway bar installation. I only recorded the rear because I was starting on the front and I couldn't get the bolts loose that hold the sway bar to the subframe. I couldn't get those bolts loose, so I ended up having to call a friend over and borrow an impact. Well, we ended up just doing it, you know, whenever he came over. So I didn't really get a chance to record because we just got it done as quickly as possible. So there isn't going to be a sway bar video, unfortunately, and I know in the past couple of videos I've mentioned the sway bar video, but it's not gonna happen, unfortunately. So sorry about that, but you know, it's all good. I've got plenty of more mods coming, you know, pretty soon. One of which I'm not too sure how, you know, people will perceive me with that with this mod that I'm gonna be installing. But anyways, today we're gonna be installing the BMR engine mounts, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. Not really, it was not a lot of fun. It wasn't difficult, but it, you know, if you're not paying attention, it can be kind of annoying. So let's get into the video. Alright, so first things first, got the car already jacked up, as you can see. I don't know if you can really tell, but it is jacked up. Shouldn't be too difficult. I've already kind of started, mainly because I didn't want to I didn't want to start on this video if I wasn't going to be able to get them off, because what happened in the last video with the sway bars, I ended up starting on the front and I wasn't able to get the cradle bolts, I think is what they're called, for the mounts loose. So let's just get started. Let's get into it. I'm going to be switching back and forth between the camera and my GoPro because I want to be able to show you guys like what it actually looks like down there. Because the camera I'm using now, my new camera, is the Osmo Pocket, so it's on a gimbal. So it's kind of hard to get it down into the engine bay and show you guys. So I'm gonna be switching back and forth between camera, this camera and the GoPro, so I can show you guys what it actually looks like. Okay, so I don't know how well the audio is on this, but I don't know if you can really see it either, but there's the mounts. There's the mount right there. So let's just go ahead and get started taking that off, and then there's the same thing on the other side. As you can see, this one is probably going to be a little bit more difficult to get to because of all the stuff right here, but I think we can make it happen. We just need some swivels, and then it should be good. So let's get to it. Alright, so
As you can see, I've got the motor, or the engine jacked up. This is basically almost off right down here, enough for me to be able to pull this mount out. Now, I actually ended up having to loosen my brace, my strut tower brace here. I also had to pull my engine cover off, which I did with the brace still on. So my engine cover is probably broken now. Let's just take a look. Oh no, looks fine. So I still have all these on there, looks like. So this isn't broken. This part is definitely broken. That was the top piece with the 5.0. This definitely broke off. I don't know if that's fixable. Honestly, I don't really care. I think we're just gonna leave it off. So, you know, I'm not gonna worry about it. But I think this side is like completely off. Yeah, as you can see, if you can see, this side is completely off right here. Like this side is completely off. So the passenger side is gonna be pretty simple, but I've already gotten one of the bolts out over here. I just have to loosen up that one right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I've already got it loosened. So, and I didn't realize it, but in the instructions it says to take the top bolts, the top nuts off. These, it says to take these off first and go ahead and jack the engine up and then take the two bottom bolts out that connect to the actual frame. So I was kind of doing it wrong, I guess. I don't think it really matters, but let's just get right back into it. Oh fuck. I'm really glad you guys can't see down there, because that probably looks pretty stupid. But here's the stock mount. As you can see, compared to the aftermarket that we're putting on, this is insane. Not to mention, this thing is heavy compared to this. This thing probably weighs a full pound. This thing probably weighs less. I don't know. I just know that this thing is pretty fucking heavy, and look at it. Like, just look at the difference. This thing is huge. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this one in before I take the other one off. I'm gonna go ahead and put this up in there. And like I said, I'm gonna be lowering mine. Now, for those of you guys, for those of you S550 guys that have aftermarket headers, and anything else that, you know, is a tight fit down there, you might not want to be doing this. I have the stock headers though, so I'm not really worried about it. If I have to, I can, you know, add one back on there, but I think that I'll be fine with this lowered all the way down. So I'm gonna go ahead and shove it up in there and then get started on the other side. So there it is. There is the aftermarket mount in there. As you can see, I'm gonna go ahead and put the two bolts in so that it's bolted up, and then I'm gonna do the other side, and then we'll lower it down. Oh look, say hi, say hi. But yeah, so let's do that. So the nice thing about the passenger side, or at least in my case, is that I don't actually need to use any swivels to get these out or back in. Putting it back in right now. Again, it's gonna be different for you guys with headers. Like, I would imagine you S550 guys that have headers might not even be able to get to these. I watched a video a day or two ago of a guy with an 18 Mustang, I believe, and he had aftermarket headers, and he couldn't even get to the passenger side from the top. He had to like get to him from the bottom, which I would imagine is probably kind of a bitch because he had headers. I have the stock headers though, so I haven't run any issues. The only issue I've ran into is my strut bar brace, but I didn't even have to take it all the way off. I've just loosened it enough so I can jack the engine up. But I'm getting them back on now, so we're almost done. We're almost there. This is definitely half a day's work if you're by yourself, I would imagine. For me, it's, what time is it right now? Let me see what time it is. I don't remember when I started on this. I'd imagine I started on this at probably about like 12, and it's 2:38. So far it's taken me about 2.5 hours, but I shouldn't say this is half a day. This is definitely at least 4 hours of your time, at least. If you have all the tools and everything, then this is at least 4 hours of your time, maybe less if you have a lift or something like that, or better tools. But yeah, almost done. So I'm gonna finish bolting these down to the frame, and then we will start the process of lowering the engine back down. This is the part I'm kind of scared about, mainly because the difference with these mounts, I can't really show you anymore because I don't have them anymore. But the bolt here, as you can see on this one, the bolt is stationary. It's not, it's like a stud essentially. On the new mounts, the bolt runs through the, like all the way through, and it moves, like it goes up and down freely. And so I'm kind of concerned about that. I'm worried I might need another person to hold a socket or something up under there. I don't know, we'll see what happens. So yeah, let's get to it. I probably have a bunch of leaves and shit in my hair because, as you can see, I've got leaves and dirt and grass and everything all over the ground back here. I'm not in the other driveway, you might have noticed. I'm in the back of the house now because it's a lot more shaded back here because, you know, the house is shading everything. So that's why I'm back here. But let's get these on. Let's get them done, man. I'm ready to go drive around and feel the difference. So let's do it. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and go through and show you guys. As you can see, we got everything back. We got everything on. Engine is lowered down. I just need to tighten up those bolts right there. Go ahead and show you the passenger side. So if you can see down in there, got everything lowered down. She's nice and sturdy, so I think we're probably good to go. Now I just need to lower everything down and get everything torqued, and we're done. That's it. That's install finished. So it's definitely not as easy as well, honestly, I shouldn't say that. I didn't think it was going to be easy. It wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be, though. It's actually not that difficult, especially if you have the correct tool. I was having to look around for some tools, which obviously made it take a little bit longer, but for the most part it wasn't bad. Like, this actually was a really easy install. I have to look at the torque specs because I don't remember what they are. I'm gonna have to go on BMR's website, go on the instructions and see what they want me to torque this shit down to, because I want everything to be torqued down to spec, obviously, especially with something like this. It's connected to the engine, you need it to be torqued to spec. So I'm gonna torque everything down, then we're gonna put the I'm gonna tighten back down my strut tower brace, and then we're gonna go drive around and see if we can feel a difference. I would imagine we'll be able to feel a pretty decent difference as far as handling and NVH, but we'll see. So let's do it. Okay, so this is the part where you're gonna need somebody to help you. I don't really know how you're gonna be able to do this alone, but basically this top bolt right here, the thing with these mounts is that these are actually just normal bolts. They're not stuck in place like this stud, like this old mount is here. As you can see, the old mount, the bolt is, you know, stuck on there. You know, they've got it, you know, welded on there or whatever, but it's basically a stud. With these new mounts, it's not like that. These new mounts, it's just a bolt. So somebody has to be on the bottom of the car, like up under the car with a wrench on the bottom of the bolt or on the head of the bolt, and then somebody's got to be on top up here to tighten this. So this is where you're gonna need some help. Unfortunately, I don't have any help. I am completely by myself until about 4:30 when my girlfriend gets home from work. So I'm gonna have to wait and have my girlfriend help me out. So she's gonna be the one to tighten the top bolt, and I'll be the one to put it in the car because I don't want her getting up under there. So yeah, I'm gonna have to wait about an hour or so. For you guys, obviously it's gonna be a second. So I'll see you guys whenever she gets home. All right, so word of warning for those of you guys that are gonna be installing these mounts or interested in them. If you're lowering this shit, you have to reuse these. I did not know that. I literally had everything installed, and I got up into the car, my girlfriend's home, and she was tightening them down, and it stopped because she had gotten to this right here. So basically what they want you to do, or what BMR wants you to do, once you take the bolt out, right, and then take these two, since I'm lowering it all the way, I need both of them, and stick them through there like that, and then put this back on like that, so that now, you know, you have enough, you're not using all the threads and going down to this. I did not know that, and I went to the instructions and I saw, because here's the thing, they don't actually say in the instructions, it just shows a picture of like what it's supposed to look like if you're lowering it, you know, by a quarter inch or a half inch, and it has these on the bottom. So yeah, word of warning for you S550 guys that are going to be installing these, make sure that you have, you know, you're reusing these if you are lowering the engine, or you're gonna have problems. So I had to jack the engine back up, take these out, and then redo this. Luckily it didn't take very long because these are way smaller than the stock mounts, so they're really easy to get out. And I didn't have everything torqued down yet. Never torque stuff to spec unless you are for sure that it's done and ready to go. So I'm glad I didn't torque everything down, but let's get back to it. Got everything torqued down, you know, everything's on, and just getting my strut bar back together, and then we'll be done. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. So new engine mounts installed, sway bars are on, so we're gonna go for a little drive, see just how much of a difference it makes. I can already tell you, I can feel the engine a lot more now. Like I can feel it vibrating throughout the whole car. So you are obviously with these mounts going to be getting some NVH. So just prepare for that. If you're not ready for that, then these mounts are not for you. For example, if you know, daily drive your S550, if you daily drive your Mustang, these mounts might not be best for you. I daily drive mine, but I don't mind the extra vibration. If anything, it's more immersive, you know, it connects me to the car more. So yeah, let's just go out for a drive, see if it makes a difference. I've got my I've got the car flashed on the fun tune, so you might hear some pops and bangs because that's what my fun tune is. It's not on the serious tune right now because it really doesn't need to be. I'm not racing or anything like that. So you might also hear some rubbing from the front tires, rubbing the flares in the front since I got some wider tires on the front. Still figuring that whole thing out. I did do full camber in the front, so I am as fully cambered as I can make it in the front, and it did help a lot. There is still some minor rubbing though, but yeah, you can definitely, I can already say though, I can definitely feel it. And then I don't know if it's picking it up on the GoPro, but at a stop I can definitely hear more noises that I used to be able to. Can definitely feel a lot more as far as like bumps in the road and whatnot. I can definitely feel those now, like way more than I could. It's not terrible. It's not like it's unbearable and it's making the car, you know, like terrible to drive, but I can definitely feel more of those. And I've also noticed that the sway bars make some noise too. I guess it's just because they're poly bushing, so anytime the sway bar compresses with the suspension, I've noticed that I'm hearing some of that too. I don't know if you guys can hear it. I don't know if the GoPro's picking that up, but I do hear some sway bar noise from the bushings, I'm assuming. But definitely feel more vibrations and, you know, noises and whatnot. It is more harsh than the stock ride, but it's not unbearable. I know one thing some people talk about with poly engine mounts is that, you know, some people think that it's just too much. I'm sure on some cars it is. So far though, it's not bad on this car. It's really not. I mean, you can definitely feel vibrations and shit, but it's not that much worse than stock, honestly. So far, it honestly, like driving, I'm going 45 right now, and it really doesn't feel that different from the stock mounts. If I'm being completely honest with you, it really doesn't feel that different.
I mean, there is some slight, you know, there is more vibration. Like I get more vibration in the steering wheel and, you know, on the foot and on the pedals and, you know, in the seat and everything. But as far as like just driving it goes, there's really not much of a difference. Sort of dead stop. Let's see how well she does. Press OK to begin and accelerate to start. Oh wait, hang on. I fucked it up. Hang on. Automatic start. Press OK again, and here we go. Wasn't terrible. It's 4.8 seconds. That's not bad. Now, this is my fun tune. I don't know if that really, you know, makes much of a difference, but I don't know. That was actually really good pull though. Like honestly, that felt really fucking good. It honestly felt like it might have been quicker than 4.8, but according to the car, it wasn't. Now we'll get up on the freeway and do a couple pulls. Okay, so I think I found a spot a little bit further up. I'm gonna do it in Sport Plus this time. When I did the pull from a dig, I was in track because you have to be in track mode to use the acceleration timer on this car, and that turns off traction control and, you know, all that stuff. But I'm in Sport Plus now, using the paddles. Sport Plus, you still have traction control on. I think that's really the only major difference. So we're gonna see if it, I mean, I can turn traction control off, but I don't think I'm gonna need to, honestly. I think that it's fine on. But we're gonna do a 40 roll and just see if it, you know, is better than stock, even though I have nothing to base it off of. Like, I genuinely have nothing to base it off of. So, yeah. But, let's get out here. We're on a good little on-ramp here. Make sure that guy back there is exiting. Or not exiting, getting onto the ramp. Alright. Yeah, this is a good stretch of road here. We're not going to go, like, super full fucking, you know, full on, but, we get to 40 here. We'll do a little pull. Alright, you ready? Woo! Shit. That's the first time I've ever done the fucking pull from a 40 roll. I didn't even get up to that, like, I only got up, I think, to like 95. I didn't even get up to 100. Holy shit, that was crazy. And again, I don't have anything to base this off of, so I don't know if it was better than stock. Well, I know it could have been like that with the stock mount. But it felt good. Like, it fucking, damn, dude, that felt good. Like, that was awesome. Again, have nothing to base it off of. I don't know if that was better or worse than stock. I'm gonna assume it was probably better, just because, I mean, it felt fucking amazing. Yeah, I highly recommend these mounts. I have a link down in the description, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.